Hi, friends. Good morning. Very good morning. How are you all? I hope my friends in LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube have received notification. Have you all received the notifications? I see less people at. Did you all receive the notifications? Very nice. Good morning. Good morning, Ashwija. Good morning, Deepak. Good morning, Dinakar, Vasant, Ramesh, Google Prakash, Bhumika, Vasanta. I know I really request everyone to pay attention. In fact, I spent good time reading this book, reviewing it multiple times to ensure that I give you the gist of the book in few minutes because it's a very long book. I don't know whether I'll be able to read the entire book to you, but believe me, this book is an interesting book, and if you definitely if you pay attention to it, complete book, the you will have clarity. You will get absolute understanding of how to live a better life. And I think the problem today is, always we aspire to be better in life, we aspire to be rich in life, but we fail. But this book is one such piece of knowledge. This will give you that absolute clarity on how you should think about life. Because see, many people think, okay, this is about investing. No, I don't look at it in that way, because life is all about investing. It's not just about investing in the stock market. It is not just about stock market. So I wanted to talk about it from a very different perspective. Even if you read this book, you may not get that perspective which I'm going to share with you today. So hope you all are excited about it. Yeah, some of you are requesting me to speak in Kannada. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡನೂ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. It is going to be in Kanglish today. Kannada ಮತ್ತೆ English ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ I'll give you explanation, but as much as possible in English, since we have more people. My own team members are joining. Indian Money team members are joining today, and many of them are not so. They don't know Kannada, so I have to manage them as well. But I will make it a point that in between I explain this in Kannada as well. Okay. So hope you all received the notifications. It's already 3 minutes since we started. We have less people. What happened? Where are the other people? How many of you have heard about this book earlier? How many of you have heard about this book? Richer, wiser, happier. How many of you have heard? Please respond in chat, no? No? Okay. Arun Gowda says, why, sir? Not live in the night. I had a very bad throat pain. I'm just recovering from it. As soon as I felt a little better yesterday, decided, okay, let me read this book for them. So I mean, I am always eager to come and talk to you all, but from tonight, I'll try my best to be there. Just that the throat pain is too much, was finding it difficult to manage. So hopefully all set. We have already spent 4.5, 5 minutes. My coffee is also over. Let's start the book. It is an interesting book by William Green. It is about the world's greatest investors, uh, how they win in markets and life. So, not many people have done well in both, right? Some people have done really well in the markets, but they have not done well in life. This book is about those who have done really well, those who were committed to their principles. In fact, out of so many chapters in this book, the first chapter is about an Indian, and since it's a U.S. Writer, the first chapter is about an Indian investor. In fact, he's a hedge fund manager. So I think that is the best lesson to learn from. I'm going to spend more time on that today. I'm going to emphasize more on the first lesson. That's an amazing thing. And of course, all other follow on lessons also good. We're going to discuss that. So, how many of you have heard about this foundation called Dakshana Foundation? How many of you know about Dakshana Foundation? Fast. How many of you know about Dakshana Foundation? You don't know? Dakshana Foundation. I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about Dakshana Foundation. Okay. How many of you know about Super 30? You know this guy in Bihar, Anand Kumar. He runs this institute called Super 30, where he picks up these bottom of the pyramid kids, very poor kids, and he trains them for a year. I mean, in fact, 2 years, and prepares them for IIT entrance exam. And then they get into IIT, and his success rate is as high as 85% sometimes. Yeah, Hrithik Roshan did a movie on that as well, right? But then this Dakshana Foundation is a replica of that, of course, copied from there. I'm going to talk to you about it. So, friends, I am set. This is an interesting book. I personally learned many things from this book. I'm going to share my learnings with you. Of course, I will not be able to read the entire book to you because it's a very, very, it's like too much to read. I don't think I'll be able to read this book in one, that's not possible, right? Because it's a too long book. It's a too many, it's like, how many pages are there? I've got about 276 pages are there. I'll not be able to read it. But what I'll do, in about 30 minutes or so, I'm going to give you the key lessons from this book, which I'm sure will change your life. So book starts with inside the minds of greatest investors. This is an introduction. So this book is all about learning. This book is all about learning what's inside the minds of greatest investors in the world. This is, all the best investors. I'm sorry. So best investors, when we say this, it is not just Warren Buffett. There are other best investors in the world. So this book has picked up the life lessons from some of these best investors in the world. And I'm going to share with you. The introduction is about that. The first chapter is about that. So there is one thing which, he has taught in this introduction part, the priceless part, never bet on things you don't know fully. I think all of us in life and in investments, we make this mistake. The only lesson which I have drawn from the introduction part is never bet on anything. So if someone can take notes and probably at the end summarize it, would be great. Jeevan is good in that. If Jeevan can do it, would be good. So the first lesson from the introduction part is never bet on things which you don't know. Many of us bet on things which we don't know. We invest in stocks we don't know. We invest in funds which we don't know. We invest in property which we don't know. We invest in people who we don't know. We invest in property, real estate, which we don't know. So never do that. Unless until you do, I mean, you don't know it. You're basically, see, now there is a difference between investing and betting. What is the difference between investing and betting? Tell me. Investing is I know. Betting is I don't know or I know half. I take a chance. When the probability is less, I'm betting. When the probability is high, I'm investing. Are you getting my point? So many a times we take bet, we don't invest actually. Why do we do that? Because I don't have the information with me. So whenever you make investments, try to do that. I keep telling my leaders in Indian Money, because today we have a lot of people joining us from across the country seeking work from home. Maybe why I spoiled my throat, my voice, is also because of that reason. Since we hire a lot of people to work from home, they are joining us from different parts of the country. We have to train them again and again. I keep telling my leaders three things you should do for them. If you want to lead them, if you want to make their life better, do these three things. Number one, I say that know them as much as you can. Know them as much as you know your friends. Know your people. Similar way, investments. Any investment, know as much as you can. Number two, have a blueprint for your people's success. So when you're investing time on an individual, have a blueprint for his success, not just yours. If I invest my time on an individual thinking that this guy will make me better one day, just by having a blueprint for my success without even considering that other party in my life, I will not succeed and that person will not be with me for a long time. So it is important that you have a blueprint not just for your success but your people's success. Similar way, your investments. When you make investments, have that blueprint on how this is going to perform in the long run. So how do you get that? In fact, many people don't do this. Whenever I invest in a company, whenever I invest in a stock, I draw their chart. Like, how did they perform? How did they come up in the last few years? How they may move in the next few years. When I draw that chart, I get to know, okay, this is how it is going to work. Right? So it is very, very important. I think we must have that. The third one is you have to monitor. You have to continuously monitor. See, these three principles are the key principles. Whether you invest your money, you invest your time, you invest your energy on some property, some investment, some individual, you have to carry these three things. Know it, have a blueprint, and the third one is track, monitor it. Don't just simply bet on it. So that's the first chapter. Okay. So that's actually the introduction part. So the first chapter basically. So introduction is over now. We're getting into the first chapter. And the first chapter name itself is very interesting. The first chapter name is The Man Who Cloned Warren Buffett. The Man Who Cloned Warren Buffett. The Man Who Cloned Warren Buffett is about an individual from India. He's a hedge fund manager. His name is Monish Pabre. Monish Pabre. Monish Pabre, Pabrai, Pabre, is a good hedge fund manager. He says how to succeed by shamelessly borrowing other people's best ideas. Listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. How to succeed by shamelessly borrowing other people's best ideas. And this is exactly what he did. He borrowed the best investment strategies best ideas of all best investors in the world. Many of us we think, no, it has to be original. Correct, yeah. You have to have some bit original. Whatever others have already discovered, why do you want to waste time in discovering it? I use a 4G phone today. Why should I use someone's 4G phone? Let me discover my own. Man, that's not intelligence. That's stupidity. When someone has already discovered a 4G phone, if I have to invent one more, that's stupidity. That's not intelligence. So you don't have to invent. You use, copy. So he says, how to succeed by shamelessly borrowing other people's best ideas. I think this is something which is very interesting, and it's a timeless. This is like forever you have to use this tip. So this person, even before I get into Monish's story, the author has given two interesting quotes in the beginning of the chapter. I want to read it for you. A wise man ought always to follow the paths beaten by great men. Think about it. A wise man ought always to follow the paths beaten by great men and to imitate those who have been supreme, so that if his ability does not equal theirs, at least it will savor of it. How true, man. The gist is very simple. A wise man will copy the best path, discovered, explored by the great men in the history. And he will simply imitate those who have been supreme. He will simply imitate. A wise man will simply imitate those supreme. So in case, if his ability is not up to theirs, at least the strategy will save him. That's the whole idea. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ತನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನಾರು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವಾಗ? ಯಾರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇವನ್ ನನ್ನ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ರು ಆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೇ ಹಿ ಹಸ್ ಟಾಟ್. And there's one more quote I want to read it for you. Very interesting. This is by Warren Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger. Very interesting one. I believe in the discipline of mastering the best that other people have ever figured out. I believe in the discipline of mastering the best that other people have ever figured out. I don't believe in just sitting down and trying to dream it all of myself. Nobody's that smart. He says, I believe in the discipline of mastering the best that other people have ever figured out. What a thing it is. So just think about it. He says, if someone has figured out the best, you invest all your energy in mastering it. Don't waste your time in discovering it again. Say, for example, now, I personally believe this. Some of my habits, which I learned from different people, I just copy them ruthlessly, shamelessly. Like, for example, I'm a great fan of Amazon. I'm a big fan of Jeff Bezos. Now, some of his leadership principles are amazing. At Indian Money, we have 8 leadership principles. Most of them are copied from Amazon. Most of them are copied from Amazon. Absolutely. See, it is A sin to copy his business as it is, but it is not sin to copy his leadership principles. It is a sin to copy his business as it is and try it, because it will not work. You'll always be number two if you copy him. Copy his way of doing the business. Replicate it in your own business. You will become number one in your business. I mean, in your segment. You understand what I'm saying? So, I think Charlie Munger's statement is very wise. Please think about it. I think someone has discovered something good, best. You put all your energy to master it. You discipline. I mean, you should discipline yourself to master it. So this book, this chapter is about Monish Pabre. He's a hedge fund manager. This guy, think about it. I mean, he made good money by copying all the best investors' strategies in the world. He made right investment decisions. He made good wealth. He wanted to replicate what he did in the investment world, in the philanthropy. Are you guys listening to me? It's very interesting. Mr. Monish, he copied the best investors in the world and succeeded in his hedge fund business. He gave better returns than others, better returns than the index to his investors. But then, he then later decided, he made good money. He, he then decided he has to, distribute this wealth. When he decided to distribute his wealth, he wanted to do a good charity, because see, in India, even in the world today, charity is also not done properly. Otherwise, all the rich people who are claiming I'm giving away this much money, that much money for charity, if they would have done it in the right way, poverty wouldn't have been there. They are not even doing that properly. But this man, Mr. Monish, did a great job. You will be surprised. You know what he did? He read an article about Anand Kumar, Super 30 founder. Then he went all the way to Bihar. And Bihar is known for kidnapping capital of India, the city of kidnapping. So it was that to a hedge fund manager, a rich man, visiting Bihar was a risky thing. Then what he did, he hired two bodyguards. And those guys were carrying their guns, so they couldn't travel with him in the flight. They reached early by train. Then Anand Kumar, knowing that Mr. Monish is coming to Bihar, he also hired 4 bodyguards. Then, when Monish visited Anand Kumar, Monish started convincing Anand Kumar, hey, you're only training 30 people. Let us train more. Let us replicate this model. Let us make it big. I will give you money, not as an investment. Let us give education. Let us change the life of many more poor kids. For which Anand Kumar didn't agree. He was like, no means no. I don't want to do it in my name, in the name of Super 30. This is Super 30. That's it. I do it for 30 people. This is what I can afford. Then Monish convinced Anand that let's do one thing. I will build a foundation. You bless me. You support me. I will do it separately in a different name. For which he agreed. He supported. Then he built this foundation called Dakshina Foundation. And he hired the best minds. Then he got about, I think currently they've got about 1,000 plus students, all from bottom of the pyramid, poorest students they hired. And you know what? Started training them for IIT entrance, and the success rate was as high as 85%. 85% people who took training there. Of course, it was a boarding school. 2 years of complete classroom, boarding education, 85% of them got admitted to the best schools. And he spent about 2 lakh rupee per kid, per student. So I think, just think about it. He replicated the model in such a way that that's what the chapter starts with, it. Copy shamelessly. He did it so well. Today, so many IIT students are being sent by Dakshana Foundation. So, from this chapter, what is being proven is, whether it is investing, philanthropy, in life, whatever you do, it actually happens if you copy it properly. And when you copy it, I think recently I was watching this movie movie called The Founder. How many of you watched this movie, The Founder? Founder is about McDonald's, the McDonald's brothers who started McDonald's. But this guy, the one who replicated it, he took the franchisee of it, then he built the franchisee network. He copied so well, and then he bought out from the McDonald's brothers, and today they are not even in the scene, right? So that's how it works. So he says, there are no prizes for frenetic activity. Rather, investing is mostly a matter of waiting for these rare moments when the odds of making money vastly overweigh the odds of losing it. How true it is. There are no prizes for frenetic activity. You do some frenetic activity, there is no prize. Rather, investing is mostly a matter of waiting for these rare moments when the odds of making money vastly overweigh the odds of losing it. That's why I was saying the probability should be high. If the probability is low, it means you're betting. Probability is high, you're investing. The difference between betting and investing is, like someone is asking, cryptocurrency has started crashing. What's your opinion? That's a scam. That's a scam. That is not even betting. It's a scam. Right? So coming back to this chapter. And as a hedge fund manager, he says, say no to almost everything. I mean, a good investor will never say yes to everything. A good investor, you ask me in personal life or business life, professional life, I will never say yes to everything. I'm very choosy. This is what I want to do. Anything connected with my life, my blueprint, I say yes. Anything which is not in my purview, in my blueprint, I straight say no. And this is not for me. I think that is important. That is very important. Okay? So good. I think now we are done with the first chapter. A lot of learning from the first chapter. Copy the best from the best. Copy the best from the best in a best possible way. Copy the best from the best in a best possible way. Next, let's go to the next chapter. This is in fact, I took a lot of time to read it. But in fact, he has given 5 lessons. If Jeevan can type it, it will be great. 5 lessons. Clone like crazy. Clone means copy. Clone like crazy. That's rule number 1. Jeevan, are you typing? Clone like crazy. That's chapter number 1. The rule number 1. Rule number 2, hang out with people who are better than you. I always say this. Always be with the people who are better than you. Hang out with people who are better than you. Rule number 2. Rule number 3, treat life as a game, not as a survival contest or a battle to death. Hang out with people who are better than you. That's the second rule. The third rule is treat life as a game, not as a survival contest. Many of us do it. Every day is a survival mode. Survival mode. Pay rent, pay kids' school fees, pay EMIs, survive. Life is a game, not as a survival contest or battle to death. We are not just battling to end it one day. So, rule number 3, treat life as a game, not as a survival contest or a battle to death. Rule number 4, be in alignment with who you are. Don't do don't do what you don't want to do or what's not right for you. Wow, what a statement. Be in alignment with who you are. Don't do what you don't want to do or what's not right for you. Jivan, it is be in alignment with who you are. Be in alignment with who you are. Don't do what you don't want to do or what's not right for you. I think simply, you can understand this. The rule number 5, live by an inner scorecard. Live by an inner scorecard, not the external scorecard. I keep saying this. I don't work because someone has to evaluate and give me a score. Sudhir is great. No, it's my inner scorecard. I am doing my best. You tell me, if I don't schedule this morning live program today and read this book, who will come and punish me? Or by doing this, who is paying me for it? It is called inner scorecard. Inner scorecard. I am doing it for my personal satisfaction. I am doing it because I want to feel good that I didn't waste one day. I could give whatever I know, whatever I have read, whatever I have learned. So that's called inner scorecard. The rule number 5, live by an inner scorecard. Don't worry about what others think of you. Don't be defined by external validation. Your own wife may treat you in a way. Don't care about it. Your own kids may consider you as something else. Don't care about it. What matters is you. Don't worry. Live by an inner scorecard. You have to live by that. You are not here for anybody. I want you to understand. I think this is the best thing. Monish story is amazing. You all can visit Dakshina Foundation website. You'll know it. And he also says, it is in fact from the, Warren Buffett's partner, Munger's learning. He says, take a simple idea and take it seriously. Your life will be great. And my team, my partners, in fact, Jeevan and Parmesh are here. They know what we are doing. This work from home model, how we are building. It's a simple idea. And we have taken it very seriously. It's a very simple idea. We have taken it very, very seriously. And we are committed to build a team of 50,000 people working with Indian money across India and working for themselves. We are extremely committed. Myself and my 2 partners, Parmesh and Jeevan, we are very committed now. We will create employment to 50,000 people across India. It's a very simple idea and we're taking it very seriously. Right? Coming back. The next learning, which I think you all can. So we're done with the first chapter. Second chapter, it's already 34 minutes. My throat is again paining. Let me go a little fast and finish it. The chapter 2. What did you guys learn from whatever I read so far? What did you guys learn? Why don't you share it in chat? Was that useful? Was there some learning? Guys, please understand. our life, we think, I mean, I've seen so many people who passed away during COVID. They were fighting for their kids, they were fighting for their family, they were fighting for that wealth, which they didn't know why, and they all died. And I've seen their own family members were hesitant to touch them. It's not that because he died due to COVID, I'll not touch. There's a rule. Even they were hesitant to touch. And they're dead. Who cares? Life ends. You have to remember, we have come here not as somebody's private property. Many people treat you like that. They think this guy is my private property. He has to work for me, earn for me. No, you are nobody's private property. You are here to make a meaningful difference to the world. You're here to make a difference to the world. Make something different. It change the lives of many people. The way you talk, the way you live, it should inspire. I keep saying, inspiring is an outcome, not an action. Many people think by talking I can inspire. That's wrong. That's bullshitting. You can't inspire by talking. Inspiring is not an action, it is an outcome. You live a better life, people get inspired by you. Right? Do that. So, the willingness to be lonely, the second chapter. This is about Mr. Templeton. It is Sir John Templeton. The chapter 2. The willingness to be lonely, to beat the market. You must be brave enough, independent enough, and strange enough to stray from the crowd. So true. And it is not just for investing, even life. Willingness to be lonely. I'll tell you, even if you are in the crowd, try to be lonely as much as you can. Sometimes you have to live with people in a house, but you have to be lonely. You live with people who are not, adding any value to you, but and in such situation you have to be lonely. So to beat not just the market, to achieve the best in life, to beat the market, to achieve the best in life, you must be brave enough, independent enough, strange enough. People say he's strange and they think it's not good, but actually all those who have accomplished, read about Albert Einstein. He was very strange, you know that? He was very strange. Abdul Kalam was very strange. He was not very normal. Right? Loneliness is not about being alone. Staying alone. Even if you are around with people, how well you're connected to yourself. Because I'll tell you what happens most of the time. When you're with wrong people, you get influenced by them. Your thoughts are not independent. Even if you're with people around, can you be lonely? At least in your thoughts, independent. So Sir John Templeton says, it is impossible to produce superior performance unless you do something different from the majority. How true? Think about it. It is impossible to produce superior performance unless you do something different from the majority. Correct, right? It is impossible to produce superior performance unless you do something different from the majority. Now you have to ask yourself, are you doing something different from the majority? Are you going with the herd? That's what is called herd mentality. Don't do it. In fact, Sir John Templeton was a very different personality. He lived a very different life. Okay. In fact, the story is very interesting. The author met him on the beach, and this guy used to be alone in the beach for 45 minutes every day. All that. I mean, there's a very different story which I don't want to read now because it's a long story. He says you have to buy at a time. I've made some notes. I'm going to share that with you. You have to buy at a time when other people are desperately trying to sell. In life also, in market also, investments also. You have to buy at a time when others are desperately trying to sell. See, in the stock market, all those best investors, they do that. In life, when everyone is losing hope, in 2008, when we started Indian money, the biggest financial crisis had happened. And we started Indian money. Now, COVID lockdown, everyone was losing hope. We created a new product, we made it big in 1 year. So, you have to buy at a time when other people are desperately trying to sell. The next learning is have unemotional appreciation for a mispriced bet that offered an asymmetric between risk and reward. Very interesting. This is a learning from Buffett and Munger. The Warren Buffett and his partner have an unemotional, not emotional, appreciation for a mispriced bet that offered an asymmetry between risk and reward. So, see today what happens? We take emotional decisions and we appreciate emotionally. Don't do that. He says unemotional appreciation for a mispriced bet. So we take bet on investments. I mean, we bet. He says mispriced bet. It's a mispriced. Either it's more or less. And which offers asymmetry between where the risk and reward are linked, proportional. That's how it is being said. The next important things, there are 6 guiding principles from Templeton. First one is, these are very important. The 6 guiding principles. The first one, most people get led astray by emotions in investing. They get led astray by being excessively careless and optimistic when they have big profits, and by getting excessively pessimistic and too cautious when they have big losses. This is a very important lesson. Huh? Most people get led astray by emotions. See, don't bring emotions while investing. Don't bring. And when you make big profits, they become careless. Don't become like that. When life is giving you good things, it doesn't mean that forever you will keep receiving good things. You don't know what is waiting for you. So be prepared. Don't be careless. Many people do this mistake. And by getting excessively pessimistic and too cautious when they have big losses. And many people, when things become worse, they become pessimistic. Everything is negative. Don't do that also. Don't become over optimistic. Don't become over pessimistic. Have a balanced thought process. Very important. That's the first lesson. The second lesson from Templeton is probably an even bigger problem than emotion. He says, beware of your own ignorance. Beware of your own ignorance. Many a times, what happens? We have this mindset, I know everything and I don't know anything. So ignorance is also. So he says probably an even bigger problem than emotion. So many people buy something with the tiniest amount of information. They don't really understand what it is that they are buying. I told you this is the biggest lesson I learned from the introduction also. Ignorance is not good in investing or life. Don't take decisions in life with limited information. Have more information. Very important. The third lesson from Mr. Templeton, Sir Templeton, you should diversify broadly to protect yourself from your own fallibility. You have to have diversification because even your decisions may go wrong. So, to ensure that you're safe, you have to diversify. The fourth lesson, successful investing requires patience. Successful investing requires patience. What are the three lessons I keep telling you, friends? Curiosity is the mother of knowledge. Patience is the mother of prosperity. Third lesson, hope is the mother of success. Hope is the mother of success. So he says, successful investing requires patience. The fifth lesson, Templeton says, the best way to find bargains is to study whichever assets have performed most dismally in the past 5 years, then to assess whether the cause of those woes is temporary or permanent. So when you're investing, he says, if you want to find the best bargains, check how these stocks have performed very badly. I mean, those badly performed stocks in the last 5 years. And then find out whether that was temporary or permanent. And the sixth lesson Templeton says is, one of the most important things as an investor is not to chase fads. Many a times we do that. We chase rumors. Like why people are investing in cryptocurrency? It's a fad. Just because everyone is investing, Elon Musk invested, Elon Musk's grandfather invested, and we invest. That's stupidity, guys. Don't chase the fad. Try to learn, understand. And he says, master of his domain. So be the master in your domain, wherever you are. Be the master of your domain. That's very, very important. So this is the end of second chapter. See, for me, it's a very important book. I could have rushed and finished this book, but I don't want to do it. Since I've done 2 chapters, probably in a day or two, I will again come live and read the remaining chapters. But the lesson from introduction is that don't bet on things you don't know. And the difference between betting and investing, when the probability is high, it's investing. Probability is low, it's betting. It's just because you don't know. And second chapter is the first chapter basically, Monish chapter. The learning is copy the best from the best in the best possible way. Copy the best from the best in the best possible way. The second chapter from Mr. Templeton, be lonely. Your thought process should be independent. Don't always go with the herd. If you want to achieve the superior results, be away from the majority. You should be different from the majority. Okay? I hope this has helped you. Let's get to the remaining chapters next time. I will announce my next live soon. I'll inform you all well in advance. Those who have not watched, please watch. Those who watched it, please like and share. Update this in your WhatsApp groups. Share it with your WhatsApp friends. Update this in your WhatsApp status. Share it with all your social media contacts. I hope this has helped you. Can I get a line of feedback from you all now on chat? What did you learn from this session? Line of feedback? Super. Thank you so much. Love you all. See you in the next session. I will start coming live as well in the night. Thank you. Bye bye.